Okay, guys, here we go. I'm going to give you an ultimate walkthrough guide on what to look for when you get a loan estimate from any mortgage company. So I've been doing this for about 13 years, worked at 5 different places, so I know how they do it at each one of these places and what to be on the lookout for. So let's start right here. All your loan estimates are going to look the same except for the name of the mortgage company and um, but what you're going to look for here is you got your sale price right here. Hopefully you can see that, my mouse. It is a 30-year purchase fixed rate. This one's conventional. It was locked, so they did lock it. And this again, don't pay too much attention to the rates and stuff. This was in 2022, so obviously things are a little bit different. But here's your quote for your principal and interest of the payment at 5.5%. No prepayment penalty, no balloon payment, no surprises. Now here we got principal and interest again, plus the estimated escrow, which would be taxes and insurance. And then you got your total estimated monthly payment. Again, that is still estimated. So that is not most likely, if depending on who you use, it's not accurate because they just ballpark taxes, ballpark insurance. And again, right here for taxes and insurance on this specific deal, this was way off. That 375 a month was way too low, so they would have been surprised with a higher payment. And here's your estimated closing cost and cash to close 121 grand at closing. Now the next page is very important. This is where you actually get to see apples to apples comparables for what banks are offering. This top category here on the left, origination charge under loan costs, they tried to charge this client 2.375% of the loan amount in points, $10,000 plus their processing and underwriting fee. A typical mortgage company charges, these days, you know, I don't know, anywhere from a grand to 1,500. Anything in there is fair. That's normal. When you start seeing points, you better ask questions and they better be able to justify it because in this case, there was no reason to be charging this client $10,000 at all. Down here, the services that you cannot shop for. These are, third-party fees, appraisal, credit report. Do we have to look it up to see if it's in a flood zone? This company has a few extra junk fees that we don't typically see. But again, these are things that you can't control, we can't control. It's third party. Um, we'll go down to C. Things that you, as the client customer, can shop for is your title company. Most of you don't know this, but you, as the consumer, you have the right to choose your own title company. Typically, buyers just use whoever the real estate company is used to using. And on a refi, it's usually whoever the mortgage company is used to using. But you do have the choice. And you can see here, so closing fee 450, reasonable, good. Title policy is based on the loan amount. Courier fee, this looks good, this section. Nothing, I don't find anything wrong with that section. Let's go up to D. Recording fees, 65, that's standard in our area. Prepaids. Now, this is where they should be calculating a full year of an insurance quote. That looks accurate to me, 1,500. And prepaid interest for 2 days. That's something you want to look out for because prepaid interest is the interest that is calculated between the day you close on that mortgage and the day you actually make your first payment, which here in Michigan, typically you're going to skip the first month. So if you close in December, you skip January and your first payment will be due February 1st. So having 2 days is ridiculous. I put 15 minimum for my quotes. So yeah, they made their number, 130 bucks. They made that look real nice, but is it accurate? Probably not. Over here, 12 months of part of your taxes, summer and winter. They ballparked that a little too low. And then down here in your G section, initial escrow payment, again, they're calculating the insurance, the summer and winter taxes, which is, And this is where you want to be careful too, because the loan officer themselves in the system, they have the control over how much to put and how many months. So if you're not seeing at least a full year, you're probably going to get a surprise at closing with a higher number than you were estimated up front. Title owner's policy H, this 1521, that is responsible to be paid by the seller in almost every transaction unless otherwise, agreed upon. But the seller would pay that portion, so you should just not see that on here at all. And if you do, just know that unless you are agreed to pay for that as a buyer, that you're not going to pay for that. It's 1500, seller pays that. And over here, total 6970, total for everything 16,478. See, what this company did is if you look at the lender credit of 4240, that's how they sucked them in. That's how they roped them in and got them excited. They said, because of who you work for, our company will give you a $4,000 discount. So they thought, wow, this is huge. We're winning. Guess what? They saved you 4 grand, but they remember up here they charged over, they charged 10 grand. So really, they're not discounting anything. They're still charging them almost $6,000 extra that they didn't need to pay. And when they came with me, they didn't pay it. And we got them the same rate, same cost. But again, be careful, guys, because all this section here, for the most part, the person you're talking to on the phone has the control. They can put in whatever they want to make their numbers look really good. But at the end of the day, all this stuff is going to be the same no matter what mortgage company you go through. The only part that the mortgage company can control is that top left section A, where it's their fees and their own charges. They control that. So when you shop and look, just compare the A section. Don't compare any of the other stuff, because at the end of the day, we don't control that. Your taxes are what they're going to be. Your insurance is what it's going to be. The third party fees are going to be the same with a very little variance. But that's the important part, guys. And looking down here, making sure that everything's correct. So the seller credit, gave them a concession of 1,500. Last page. Here's an important one: the NMLS license ID. That number tells you when this individual got licensed. So, for example, I've been doing it for 13 years. My license number is 871438. This person is almost a million licensees behind me, which tells me he's probably only been doing it for a very short period of time. And they probably don't know what they're doing, which in this case, they clearly did not. And the borrower almost paid an extra $6,000 because of that. So that's where you just want to be very careful. Don't read into too much of this stuff back here. It's boilerplate stuff. This will tell you comparisons. Um, yeah, if you basically, it tells you pay extra on your mortgage, because if you don't, you're going to pay a lot extra if you just pay the minimum payment for 30 years. So just pay extra when you can. And that is your 3-page loan estimate breakdown and how it works and what to look for. And just be a smart, uh, you know, buyer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Know your stuff, know what to look for, know what questions to ask. Know, and you know what? You always want to make sure on this rate locked, is it actually locked or is it checked no? Because if it's checked no, then the interest rate and these points and fees can change. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you don't get, taken advantage of. But call me, email, text, whatever I can do to help and show you these comparisons in real life. And my goal is to make sure that you're getting a fair deal with the absolute top-notch service, whether it's with me or not. I'm going to give you the best service out of anybody out there because I can control myself and my service. As long as I'm close or the same with rates and fees, we win all the time. But if not, hey, at least you are an informed buyer. You know you're getting a great deal, even if it's not with me. And I'm okay with that. Find me on Google, look up my ratings and my, past clients and what they've had to say. And hopefully you'll give me the opportunity to help you. But if there's anything else you want to see a video on, let me know and I'd be happy to do it. Take care.